In today's video, I'll be ranking every item in Dandy's World from a worst to best tier list. Without further ado, let's begin. The stopwatch is an item that's exclusive to Dandy's shop and some of the cards. And basically what it does is it increases your skill check window size by 50 points, which is honestly not really that helpful unless you have a small skill check box. So in my opinion, you can really just practice doing the skill checks and you can get better at them instead of just using a stopwatch. So yeah. Gumballs are an item that you can use 3 times to give you a random 10% stat boost for 5 seconds. In my opinion, 10% isn't really that much, and 5 seconds isn't really too long, making this not that helpful. The chocolate is an item that increases your stamina by 25 points and also increases your walk speed by 10% for 10 whole seconds. And this is honestly pretty useful when distracting or just to help come in clutch or something. So let's move on to the next one. The stealth candy increases your stealth by 25% for 8 seconds. It's pretty good if you have low stealth, but it's not that good for solos. The skill check candy is a candy that increases your skill check chance by 25% for 15 seconds. This is pretty good for extracting, but not so good if your skill check size is small. The Enigma candy is a candy that gives you a random 50% boost for 10 seconds. It could be extraction speed or movement speed, which are the best to get, so this is pretty useful in those situations. The instructions can increase your extraction speed by 50% for 10 whole seconds, which is useful when extracting. When using a jumper cable while extracting, you can add a lot more completion to it by using it. So it's pretty self-explanatory why it's useful and why it's pretty good. When using a protein bar, it increases your stamina regeneration by 150% for 15 seconds, which is basically the same thing as 6 stamina per second. Now, this is honestly pretty useful when escaping from Twisted, so it's pretty self-explanatory why it's in B. Now, speed candy increases your walk and run speed by 25% for 5 seconds, so this is pretty useful when escaping from Twisteds or just to travel faster. So using the pop item gives you an extra 45 stamina, which is pretty useful when escaping Twisteds or distracting them, so yeah. Using an air horn decreases your stealth by 50 and leads the Twisteds towards you. This is pretty useful when distracting and the Twisted gets on another, toon or someone with low stealth. And just using the air horn would bring the Twisteds back to you and off the toon. The pop item fully restores your stamina when using it, so this is really useful when escaping a bunch of toons and they just won't get off you. So it makes sense why it's an A tier. An eject button is an item that increases your walk speed, stealth, and run speed by 25 when using it, and it also removes any slowness 2 debuffs you have. This is very useful when escaping Twisteds, but its insane speed that it gives you may cause you to run into other Twisteds or items. Using a smoke bomb makes Twisteds lose sight of you for 3 seconds. Now, this is pretty useful when you're in a sticky situation with Twisteds like Pebble, but it isn't always that helpful, because it disappears after 3 seconds. A box of chocolates is basically a chocolate, but it can be used 5 times, so it has the same ability as a chocolate. Now, this is super useful when escaping fast Twisteds, because you can just spam this and you'd become pretty fast. So yeah. The valve is an item when used, it automatically completes a machine. So this is very useful when paired with the trinket like V remote, as you can instantly complete 2 machines in the map. And with multiple people, you can instantly complete multiple machines, which is why it's an S tier. The bandage is an item that can heal you by 1 HP, and it's pretty OP when you're pretty low, or if you're taking damage as a main. So, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. The medkit is an item, and when used, it restores all of your health, which is super useful if you're on 1 heart and that you find a medkit, because you can just instantly restore back to 3. So this is a great item and one of the best in the game, which is why it's an S tier. So yeah. And that's every Dandy's World item ranked from worst to best. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. But that's it for today's video. So for now, goodbye.